Good morning. I'm Jason Ellis. This is Techville News. Tuesday had a lot going for itself, so let's get into it. Here are your top headlines from yesterday to know going into your workday today. Obviously, this is the big news of the day from yesterday, the Derek Chauvin being found guilty on all three counts for his murder of George Floyd. I know I'm very happy about that. I'm pretty sure everyone in Hollywood is happy about it, and probably the rest of the United States. Of course, this is only a step in the right direction. There's a lot more for everyone to be doing. The fascinating thing for me was I was watching the HRTS Diversity and Inclusion panel, which had Greg Berlanti, Albert Chang, Tara Duncan, Robin Roberts, and watching with them the verdict being read, and the fact that they are people who can help change the narrative, not just in Hollywood, but across the nation. So the initial reaction from all of them was, of course, this is a good thing, but we all need to come together and do a lot more for diversity, for the right message, for accountability. So definitely a conversation for us to keep on having and moving forward. Netflix had their annual shareholder meeting yesterday where they came out and said for 2021, they are going to be putting $17 billion into new content. This is a step up from last year, but interesting enough that they also had to discuss was they did miss the number of subscribers that they estimated for quarter one of 2021. They thought they would get 6 million subscribers and only just below 4 million actually came aboard. So because of that, their stock did tumble 10%. This is compared to last year's number of 15.8 million. The interesting thing that I think a part of this is Netflix essentially said this is only because of COVID and the pandemic that slowed down our production of creating new content. They did not mention the new rival streaming services of Disney Plus, HBO, Peacock, a part of this hit to their numbers, which of course they won't. That said, Netflix is still in a great financial position. They even announced that they were going to do a repurchase of up to $5 billion in company stock, essentially showing that they are still in this to win it. In my opinion, and I actually read an article, I want to say like 3 or 4 years ago from one of the original investors of Netflix who did pull out, where he said, yes, Netflix is very good in streaming, but the difference between a Netflix and, I'm just going to use this example, and a Disney is there is no merchandise. There is no really 360 design. You look at Disney, the only reason they launch, not the only reason, a reason they launch a animated feature is not just for the box office. It's for merchandise. It's for rides. It's for books. Netflix doesn't have the same infrastructure as the major studios do. They are definitely going in that direction, but Netflix needs a franchise that can do this for them. I'm not going out and buying a outfit from Georgia, in Georgia Ginny. I mean, I think the only potential franchise that has merchandise is Stranger Things, but this is a big issue that Netflix will be having, which is why you saw them buy all those, the $450 million rights to Knives Out. But once again, that is not a merchandisable franchise. You already have Disney Plus, you have HBO Max. They're going full force. I don't know for a fact that Disney Plus is going, we're using our fucking library. Let's go. We're going to attract way more viewers worldwide just because of that. Netflix needs to find what their mojo is, what their merchandise buyer's going to be. A lot to go, but competition for streamers, especially against Netflix, is truly heating up now. The Tribeca Film Festival has announced the 66 films who will be in competition in this year's film festival. It is running from June 9th through June 20th in New York City. The way they're doing it is a mix of in-person live showings in outdoor venues throughout the city, which makes sense. It is kicking off with the world premiere of In the Heights from Lin-Manuel Miranda, which makes sense. It is a New York story, so why would you not do that? And I will say the very cool part is 60% of the feature films that have been accepted are either directed by women, people of color, and LGBTQ filmmakers. So that's a great number for them to be hitting. I'm not going to go into all the announcements, but for the U.S. narrative competition, they include these 6 projects. It's Catch the Fair One by Joseph Kubota Walatka, God's Waiting Room by Tyler Riggs, Mark, Mary, and Some Other People by Hannah Marks, Poser by Ori Segev and Noah Dixon, The Novice by Lauren Hathaway, and Queen of Glory by Nan Mansah. But go online, check it out, but great to see the film festival circuit coming back to normal. In some really not good news for the Golden Globes and the HFPA has officially expelled its former president, Phil Burke, from its membership after an incredibly fucked up email where he he did refer to Black Lives Matter as a racist hate movement. This is already coming from the controversy around the Golden Globes with the massive lack of African American / Black representation in their membership. It's time to get rid of the Golden Globes. Everyone knows that it's essentially always been a joke award ceremony. There's no reason to have it. The fact that this controversy is so blatantly terrible, move on. We have so many award shows now. Let's get done. I don't know who thought the HFPA is this nominating body to do amazing things. Let's go. We already have Oscars. We have Emmys. We don't need the Golden Globes anymore. In some development news, Peacock has landed After School Special written by Ayanna White and Idly Modrobic. Kachette Studios and Universal TV is behind this one. I think this is actually an incredibly funny premise. It is essentially about an underprivileged girl who, can't really afford to go to the fancy prep school that she's in and all that fun stuff. And she gets an after-school job as a nanny and to a extremely wealthy family who really just brings her in and teaches how to drive, how to dress, all this wonderful stuff. And then she finds out that they're actually the mafia being investigated by the FBI. So essentially it's Cinderella meets The Sopranos, which just off of that comp, I'm sold. I understand why Peacock got this one. Really cool premise, and kudos to Ayanna and Idly to getting this going off the ground. We talked about this a little bit ago when it was announced that Ava DuVernay and Array got the rights to the New York Times best-selling series Wings of Fire. It has now officially been given a green light series order at Netflix to do 10 40-minute episodes. This is it's an animated series with Warner Brothers Animation backing it. It has brought on Dan Milano, Chris Starr, and Justin Ridge as showrunners. This is a great get. This is an epic series about 5 dragons who have to grow up and help end a generational bitter war in the world of Pyrrhia. This book is huge in the kid space. So I know a lot of families are wanting this one. And I think this actually could be one for Netflix to help create a merchandise world around it. So kudos to Ava DuVernay and, great get for Netflix. I love this announcement just because we really haven't seen a children's variety show in a long time. And on top of it, this is a really great foray into educating children that it is very okay to be yourself no matter what. Nina West, who is an alum from RuPaul's Drag Race, and Bobby Burke, who we all know from Queer Eye, are developing a children's variety show for Stupid Buddy Studios called Nina's Treehouse. They're essentially describing it as Mrs. Doubtfire with some Sesame Street with some Pee-wee's Playhouse. I love this. Nina West was the Miss Congeniality of her season. She's very funny. Bobby Burke, I think, is my favorite part of Queer Eye. So having them come together to make something that is a very welcoming environment for a children's show is a great get. So congratulations to them for developing this. Curious where it lands in the long run, but Stupid Buddies is fantastic. All right, let's get into some attachment news. First up, Sonia Cassidy has been brought on to be a series regular in the Showtime upcoming series, The Man Who Fell to Earth. She will be playing Edie Flood, who is the CEO of Origin Industries, and her main drive is going to be to protect this family's tech company at all costs. So great get for the show, and I think Sonia Cassidy is actually a really great actress. Secret Invasion for Disney Plus is not holding back. They are building a blockbuster cast. We talked about Olivia Colman coming on yesterday, joining Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn, and they have now just said Emilia Clarke is coming on for an undefined role right now. I really like Emilia. I know her personally, but I'm still frustrated that they just keep on putting major names into these projects. As we discussed, obviously this is on purpose to get more subscribers, to fight Netflix, but you have this massive IP. You really don't need this level of star value. Marvel is Marvel. You have already established how powerful that machine is. Let's go. Let's make sure we get really great actors for these roles, not discounting Emilia at all, not discounting Olivia. Just be great to see some newer faces coming to the Marvel Universe. And finally, Thomas and Mackenzie and Sean Clifford have been brought on to the BBC adaptation of Kate Atkinson's Life After Life. Bash Doran, who wrote Outlaw King and Traitors, has been brought on to adapt this novel into a 4-part limited series. I think Thomason is so freaking good from Jojo Rabbit, and Sean obviously is one of those standouts from Fleabag. So really 2 great gets for this series on BBC. All right, that's a lot of news for you to take in. Hopefully it's enough to get your day going. I'm Jason Ellis. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a great Wednesday.